For the fourth time in 3 transfer windows, we've broken our transfer record, and it's a familiar face. One of the loanees has joined the club permanently, but it's not all good news with the loanees because there's a couple of them who definitely won't be coming back next season. Hello and welcome to part 104 of It's Coming Home. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode we have 2 games in the Championship at home against both Brentford and Derby. Since you were last with me, our form in January has been a bit rubbish, really. We've managed to get ourselves knocked out of the FA Cup. There's a spoiler in that result related to the intro, and we also have been pretty poor in the league as well, all of which means this is where we find ourselves 30 games into the season. I mean, not all over by any stretch of the imagination. We're 3 points outside of the automatic promotion spots, 3 points behind Cardiff, comfortably in the playoffs. We should still be able to put together a good ending to the season, and fingers crossed can end the season with promotion. As you can see, Matondo is just in sensational form, but he is part of the bad news that I talked about at the start of the episode. He's not the one who's signed permanently. As you can see, he's signed a very long contract extension with Stoke on a lot of money, and we always knew this day was coming. Finally, Stoke have twigged and are looking to give him a chance in the first team next season. So we are in the last days of Chadney Matondo. The only way we're going to be able to keep him is if we do get promoted and we get an enormous transfer budget and we spend it all on him, which I don't think would be the worst plan in the world if it came down to it. I know a lot of people have said, but Kirby's only a championship quality player, but he is the best player at the club. So, 95 goals in 152 championship games. I think he's worth a £7 million punt for a newly promoted Premier League team. I don't know if we'd get him for that price though, because his value with Stoke is now 4.3 million. Like I say, he's on a lot of money. We need to enjoy him while he's here, because he isn't going to be here much longer. The one we did sign permanently, though, was his buddy from Stoke. And I think this is a cracking piece of business. Nick Moss, £500,000. I know he was out of contract with Stoke in the summer. We could have got him for free in the summer, but we had to act when we did, because those pesky Scottish clubs were circling for him. He actually had a free pre-contract offer thing come in from, I think it was Aberdeen, and I just couldn't live with myself if I let him go off to Aberdeen on a free transfer when we had the opportunity to bring him in and the money to allow us to do it. I know £500,000 is a huge transfer for us, but as you can see, he's already valued at double that. He's signed on for a couple of years with us, and he is the best attacking midfielder we've got. He's the only one we've got, really. Wharton's injured and deteriorating fast while his cruciate ligaments have exploded. Moss has been a massive part of the team for a long time, and as you can see, he's responded rather well to being a permanent member of the squad as well. So Nick Moss is now a permanent home player. We didn't manage to sell the Stig, and that was all the business we did in January. In fact, that's not strictly true, and we did extend another loan as well, but I'm now trying to remember who it was. I think it was Rogers we extended for another loan. So Rogers, I think, is now here. No, he's out at the end of the season. So I went through and tried to extend them all. Tried to act quickly this time, but I think he's another one who they want to play him in their first team. Oh no, we could potentially. You know what? I might go in for Rogers again in a minute. Harrison, I think, is the one who's here for next season. Yep, Harrison is here for next season, which is massive. Sawinski. We're going to have to try and sign him on a free. He's another one who the Scottish clubs were circling. He turned a couple of them down. We did try and buy him, but Leeds wanted £6 million for him. So fingers crossed he becomes available for free in the summer, or we might lose Sawinski as well. I think what I might do is extend the Alan Rogers loan until the end of next season while I've got the opportunity to. Seems silly not to, or else we could find ourselves in a Matondo situation where, like I say, it's coming to an end unless we can get promoted and we can afford to buy him. So let's focus on that. This is the team we're putting out there for the Brentford game. And we've got Watson in goal, a back four of Wearmouth, Rogers, McLeish and Gregson, Harrison at the base of the midfield, Fernandes and Sawinski ahead of him, and Holme's own Nick Moss in behind Harris and Matondo. Remember, losing Matondo won't be the biggest disaster in the world because we have got Ollie Steer, who does need some more game time. He's only started 6 games this season, and I think we probably owe him more than that because I think he is going to be a superstar. So it might end up being a blessing in disguise if we do miss out on promotion again and have to do it without Matondo. I think it will open the door for Steer to force his way into the team. Right, come on lads, fans want us to move into an automatic promotion spot. That seems reasonable. I think that probably is what the fans want. It's after the form we've been in, it's the same thing we see every year in the Championship. It's why sooner or later we're going to put together a run of form and just get promoted automatically. Because every year we see this. We've been in terrible form for a month and we're still 1 win away from moving back into the automatic promotion spots. It just seems like you never get that team or couple of teams who actually want to win it. Obviously Middlesbrough kind of proved me wrong this year because they've got a bit of a gap and they're probably already up. But the rest of us, no one seems to be getting the job done. Apart from Matondo, 24th goal of the season now for him. I mean, look at Stoke, sat down there in mid-table. Matondo has been good for the last few years, but this season he has just exploded into very close to a goal-a-game striker at this level, which he was always a consistent goal scorer before, but now he is scoring just a ridiculous quantity of goals. So I can understand why they want to use their own player. It's just sad that they've tied him down for such a long contract on such a lot of money because it's going to make it that bit harder for us to sign him. Even if we do go up, we might not be able to afford him. There's Nick Moss, his 7th for the season. I think that's his 5th goal now since signing for us permanently less than a month ago. He's on board for the journey. We just need him to convince his buddy who he came through the Stoke youth team with. And that's a lovely finish from Nick Moss from the edge of the area. And he is very much a long-term part of the home project now. Expect to see him in this team for many years to come. I'm very happy to have him. See, that, to me, that's £500,000 well spent. The alternative is the Stig, who is still sat down there on the bench. The only reason he's on the bench is because we spent so much money on him. We've got Couturier, is that how you say his name? The youngster who has more potential, who really should be the one sat on the bench. But I've got the Stig down there in the hopes that someone gives me money for him. So I want rid of him. I'm never listening to my director of football again. The man is an idiot. And at least I didn't waste £1 million this time like I did with Miles Darwin last year for back in the Borough. So, wasting 450,000, I think that's progress from wasting £1 million. Hopefully next year I might not waste anything at all. We all know there's not a chance of me not wasting anything at all. But we make it into half-time, 2-1 up, and stats-wise completely in control of the game. We need to add a bit of a goal gap on there because Brentford shouldn't be forcing their way back into this match. Of course, Brentford are a team who traditionally, in Football Manager, in recent years anyway, are usually quite a well-established Premier League team by this stage of the save. I think they did come down last year, so they are a team who we wouldn't necessarily be expecting to go and beat, other than the fact that they are down in 17th place this season. So I guess upon relegation, they sold their entire team and haven't really built a new one yet. There's Anthony Harris, though, who was in behind thanks to Matondo, forces the corner. And fingers crossed, we can force something to happen from said corner. It's Harrison to take. Corner comes in, falls to Sawinski, who, on his weak foot, tried to squeeze a shot through, but really probably should have cut it back and tried to find an alternative green shirt, because I don't think Sawinski was ever going to be much of a goal threat from that kind of position. And I'm starting to glance down at the bench, thinking, what have I got in the shape of a potential match-changing player? Moss plays the ball forward towards Harris, who can't get there, but he's going to continue to chase down, put their keeper under pressure, and worryingly, it looks like it's all leading to a Brentford counter-attack. That is a cracking tackle from whoever that was. I don't even know who that was who made the tackle, but Matondo's in again. Matondo scores again. Goal 25 of the season for Matondo. And if I was Stoke, I'd have called him back in January. I know we worry about it every year. I don't know why they don't. He has a recall clause on his loan contract. He always has. But Clearly, they're happy for... I mean, we're paying him £1,500 a week. They're paying him £23,000 a week to play for us. There's no logic there. I'm not going to argue. I'm just going to enjoy his goals. There's always the off chance they might change their mind again. Because if you remember that first season he was with us, we didn't think we were going to get him back because they didn't let us have him immediately. But then we did end up getting him. So it might not be the end. But it probably is, because if they don't play him this time, I don't understand the AI in this game. Harris with a tidy little finish for his 14th for the season. He's been a little bit quieter this year. Still on course for 25 championship goals. So not a poor season by any stretch of the imagination. But the fact he's so far behind Matondo shows just how much Matondo has pushed on to another level in the last 3 or 4 months. We're going to take off Sawinski and bring on Paul Perry to play in that midfield. We're also going to... What are we going to do? We should probably start giving Ollie Steer some regular game time. Perhaps bring him on for Harris. And just make more of a habit of getting him on in games. Normally he doesn't come on because Matondo and Harris are usually both playing very, very well. But I guess we need to get as much game time into Steer as we can, just in case he has to be the man next year. We're also going to bring on McCrory. Look at my assistant manager in cahoots with the director of football going, Kev, bring the Stig on. The Stig can't play as a defensive midfielder. We've tried him before. He's just a rubbish centre-back. Ross McCrory is my backup centre-back, who apparently played in goal for Rangers this weekend, by the way. So, good work, alternative universe, Ross McCrory. We've now got the one that won the World Cup whilst captaining Sevilla. We've got the one who ended up playing for an imaginary team in the Championship. And now we've got the one who plays in goal for Rangers. Who is the real Ross McCrory? Nobody knows. All we know is that he is an absolute hero. Corner for Brentford, cleared by McLeish, and it's with Moss. Moss with the opportunity for a little bit of a counter-attack here because there's options ahead of him, but he just runs it out of play on that far side. The highlight drifts away, and it looks like, despite a comfortable win, we're going to end not in the episodes, we've still got a match to go, but end the match as far away from automatic promotion as we were at the start of the match, because everyone above us seems to have won. So all the gaps are the same. What a finish from Ollie Steer. We ain't missing no Matondos next year. We've got this boy who's even younger and going to be even better. 7th goal of the season for Steer, despite the fact that he doesn't ever play. It's a lovely nod down from Gregson, back into him from Perry. One touch from Steer, and just what a goal. Home 5, Brentford 1, and I'm baffled now at how poor we've played offline for the last month. It's so confusing. No one ever accuses me of fixing it when I do it this way round. If I have a run where I have 6 wins offline and then lose on the episode, everyone goes, Kev, you're cheating. These are the kind of episodes we need to refer back to when we get those kind of accusations, because it happens both ways. It's just everyone who plays Football Manager regularly knows whatever form you're in when you close the... We've talked about this before. Whatever form you're in when you close the game down at the end of the day goes out the window when you open it up again the next day, and you'll be in different form then. I usually play the games the night before and then record the video the next morning, so always get a change of form. But good work for Matondo. And now we need to go and do the same again against Derby. Just the one change to the Derby game, then Perry in for Sawinski. Another case of kind of building for potential how life might be after some of these loan players start to move on. We've obviously got these two secured so they can carry on playing. He's in the form of his life, so he can carry on playing. But Sawinski and Perry is a bit of a toss-up anyway as to which one's the better of the two. So while things are up in the air about Sawinski, I know he's one of our own, but Perry is actually our own player. So I guess we should prioritise him a little bit. Looks like there's some interest in Lyric Fernandez as well. Rotherham. What division are Rotherham even in? Rotherham are in this league, but you can't afford him, Rotherham. Don't you worry. Is that where he went originally? I know he went somewhere up north. Barnsley. It's basically the same place. Let's get into the game while all the people of Yorkshire yell at me about how, no, they're two completely different places, even though they're 3 miles apart, or whatever the argument might be. I apologise to the North. I love you really. Right, we're in better form than Derby. Let's beat them. I thought Derby were a team that were challenging. Derby have been a team that were challenging, but it looks like they've fallen off the pace quite significantly recently, down in 16th for the form standings, now fallen 7 points behind Charlton, who are in that 6th playoff spot at the moment. So, Derby seem to be a little bit in free fall. I'm not sure why that would be. Hopefully they continue to free fall today though, and we can pick up another win. It's the perfect time to play them, unless they've just sacked their manager and hired another one or something like that. There's a former home player in their team, Kieran Charters-Thompson. He ended up being quite good, didn't he? He was always kept out of our team by Connor Stanley, who's now back playing in non-league again, last time I checked. Charters-Thompson regularly playing for promotion chasing championship team. So once again, Kev can pick a player. It's basically the Paul Perry situation all over again. I get a favourite, and whoever, it doesn't matter if they're better than him. If there's a favourite in the way, they ain't getting game time. And Charters-Thompson probably played maybe a handful of games for us at most, and ended up going to Derby for, I think, decent money. It was like £250,000 move at the time, if I recall, having barely played for us. And it seems to have worked out quite well for him. He probably doesn't like us very much. Matondo was in behind, but just got the tackle in from the defender. But it kind of came from nowhere. I think it was Perry who played the ball through. And now Wearmouth nods it back to Watson. And hopefully this is the slow build to a nice goal from us. Ball played forward to Wearmouth. Wearmouth plays it into Harris. Harris turns his man and just starts running the way Anthony Harris does, and it's just wide from the edge of the area. I mean, really, the form Matondo is in, Harris should be on instruction to just give the ball to Matondo at every single opportunity. He shouldn't be ever shooting by himself. Watson with a good save there to keep things level as we approach half-time. Derby don't look like a team who are in terrible, terrible form. Perry clatters Charters-Thompson there, just to say, look, you might have left, but I stuck around, and now I'm in the team sometimes. He's probably played more games for Derby than Perry's played for us, and I think they both signed for us at the same time. Right, let's assertively avenge what happened last time we played Derby. Nobody remembers what happened last time we played Derby, but I guess last time we played them, they were a much better team than apparently they are now. Gregson in a crossing position, but nothing at all comes from it. And Norwich are winning again, and continuing to stretch out that gap between us and the automatic promotion spots. We do need a goal. We've moved above Leeds, so Leeds must be losing. Leeds are losing to West Brom, actually, it said on there, on the little scores thing at the bottom. Perry from range. Perry again from range, and Paul Perry has scored a wonder goal and celebrates with a cartwheel. And I think it might be time to let David Sawinski go, because he is in this man's way, and this is a good football player, Paul Perry. And I know so many of you have been telling me to play him for about 3 seasons now, but he is finally getting his game time, and he's just repaid it with his 5th goal of the season, and it was an absolute beauty. Gregson with a terrible header. No, he was under no pressure at all, and is he then given away a penalty? No, he's actually recovered with an excellent tackle, so I'll let him off. Harrison plays it into McLeish. This is a weird highlight. I can only assume a goal is coming. I just don't know which end it's going to go in. Moss plays it out to Wearmouth. Wearmouth trying to find a crossing position. He doesn't need one. He just crosses from there. Perry's got it back again in midfield. Gregson in space again. Plays it back into Perry. Perry to Moss. Moss from range. And it's just wide. And all of a sudden we're playing quite well. And we need to make this spell of dominance count. Harris not playing well, so an easy change to bring Steer on for him today. Fernandez also not playing particularly well. We've got Sawinski on the bench. The assistant manager saying bring Knowles on. I'll for once I won't overrule, and we'll see what Knowles has got to offer in the midfield, because again, Knowles is somebody who's our permanent player. We've just extended his contract as well, so he's here for the next couple of years. He's another one with a huge amount of potential, so I guess we should be playing him ahead of David Sawinski. Harrison can come off for McCrory again in one of our other standard changes. Prince Chiddy has just come on for Derby up front, so he's no longer. He was on loan somewhere, I think it was in Nigeria. He was on loan for a little while, but he's obviously back in the Championship now and will probably score the winner because he's a former home player. Steer collects just inside our own half and then runs it all the way back almost to our goalkeeper. Watson, big ball over the top, looking for Matondo, who's been quite quiet today, considering the form he's been in. It has been a quiet day for Matondo. Gregson plays it back to Watson, back out to Rogers, and this is a long highlight. There's something afoot here. I don't know what's about to happen. Moss plays it forward to Matondo, who loses out on it again. And is this the Derby goal? It's the Chiddy goal coming, isn't it? For goodness sake. Demand more. We should be winning this game. We knew a goal was coming at one end because it was such a long, weird highlight. And there is Prince Chiddy. It's the best he's ever looked on this pitch. We've got 5 minutes to try and grab a winner. And it's Perry with the corner. There's a minute left. Corner comes in, aimed for McLeish. Comes to Knowles. Steer is there. Can't get his shot away, but does end up collecting the ball again with the chance to cross. Cross does come over to Perry. Perry scored again. Paul Perry, in the 95th minute, has just grabbed his 6th goal of the season. But more importantly, our winner for today. What a performance from Paul Perry. Not only does he score screamers from the edge of the area, but when push comes to shove, he'll score you a looping header as well. A ridiculous performance from a man who might have finally cemented his place as a regular starter for us. Watch him be on the bench in the next episode, because I've forgotten I said that. But he has single-handedly, fingers crossed, won us this game today, although it is still going. There is the final whistle. Your final whistle. And it's been the Paul Perry show, boys and girls. What a wonderful thing to experience. And back-to-back wins after a horrible January. And all of a sudden we are back in this promotion race again, because not only does that keep us in the race for the automatic promotion spots, but does push Derby that bit further away from us as they look to clamber back into the playoffs as well. So we've done everybody in the promotion spots a bit of a favour there by sorting out Derby. And I think there probably is a gap forming between 6th and 7th place in this division now. There is your gap, a 4-point gap. Derby now all the way down in 11th place. They are fully in free fall. And Palace now are the team pushing on to try and get into this promotion mix. But we are still 3 points off of the automatic promotion spots, 6 points off the top of the league, 14 games to go. It is all to play for. When will we be back? Obviously tomorrow, but we'll be back for... I think we have to do Charlton and Middlesbrough. That looks like a big month. Forest and Cardiff are both in the mix as well, aren't they? Hang about. No, they're not. No, they're not. Cardiff are, but Charlton and Middlesbrough in the next episode. The team propping up the playoff spots and the team top of the league. We're going to learn a lot tomorrow about what type of promotion we're pushing for. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.